I'm gonna hit you so hard you won't see nothing. Ever, 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 ever.
Audio skulls all day.
The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab.
You can't have an opinion on something that you haven't even tried.
Exactly.
The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab.
It is us again. Welcome to episode 41 of the Mad Scientist Lab podcast. As always, it is I, RJ, the pizza guy, accompanied by Jared, the visual mad scientist, and Greg, the essential Ara. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll get it down eventually. And today's show, we have a very, very special guest with us today. UFC fighter, Super Sodiq Yusuff joins us on the podcast today, and thank you, man, for taking some time out to come quarantine with us, I guess.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me, man. It's my pleasure.
Hey man, I appreciate you for doing it. I know I've been bugging you for a minute.
Yeah, it's all good. Everybody's quarantined now. No one has any excuse to not be available.
Yeah. That was the biggest thing. Like we couldn't find because of our schedules. Because like this is RJ's day off, Greg's time, and this is like kind of the time that I had to be able to do it. And then the time that we're all able to do it, you're training. So it's like
Exactly.
Like it would have never been possible if it wasn't for COVID-19.
Exactly. So that's one good thing that came out the coronavirus.
Yeah.
That's exactly correct. So, man, I guess started off, again, welcome to the show. So I feel like as a casual fan, the UFC fan, because Jared is like the big buff out of all three of us. I know Greg's a bigger follower than I am. Tell us, I guess, a little bit about yourself and what got you into mixed martial arts, man.
What got me into mixed martial arts? Honestly, I can't. Well, I guess I could kind of pin it on one thing, but the moment I first saw it on TV, it kind of I got clicked right away. You know, it was like, oh yeah, that's definitely what I'm gonna do when I grow up. But like growing up, I've always looked up to I've been like a super nerd coming up. You know, I real big into anime and stuff like that. So like watching those kind of characters, and I finally saw the UFC in person, I was like, oh man, these guys are like real life like anime fighters. You know, like they're actually.
That's actually pretty badass. I would have never thought of something like that. That's actually a very good way of putting it.
You would be surprised how many like fighters in the UFC, if they're not like big anime guys, they'll be like into like old school martial arts movies or like Street Fighter or something like that.
Man, I be trying to tell people, I be like they'll be like, oh, I don't want to, whatever their excuse is. I'm like, man, you be surprised how many very intelligent people, nerdy ass people that go just to fight like on a regular basis.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
So what with being so you're how old are you, man, if you don't mind my asking?
I'm 26.
You're 26.
Don't ask a man their age. I don't mind, man. I'm 26.
So you when did you debut in the UFC exactly, man? Because I think I've only seen like one of your fights, honestly, and I was with Jared one time.
I made my debut right at the end of 2016, like right at the end. So I think I might have been the last card of the year. So last year was really kind of when I started.
Okay. And in that time that you've been, I guess, you know, a professional fighter, what do you have to do to prepare yourself for a fight? And you're in the featherweight division? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, man. I want to make sure I'm on my shit. But what goes through, I guess, your mind as you prepare for a fight? Are you nervous? Do you have adrenaline going? I mean, what's the deal, man?
So it depends what time frame you're talking about. Are you talking about like the day of the fight?
Yeah, so I'll be more specific. Yeah, the day of the fight, before you, like when you're walking out to the octagon, man, you're getting ready.
Oh yes.
Yeah, what's going through your mind, man?
Yeah, by that time, honestly, the nervousness is gone. You're kind of just ready. Well, I can only speak for myself. By that time, the nervousness is gone, and I'm kind of ready to just get in there and get it started. You know, I'm real big into like a lot of like sports psychology books and stuff like that. So I've gotten pretty good at almost hypnotizing myself before I go out there. You know how they say like the Vikings used to like take drugs and go berserk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of like where I'm at by the time the fight time comes, you know. So by that point, honestly, being nervous isn't gonna do you any good, you know. So so you kind of learn.
Yeah, it's
And
too late to be scared.
after all the amateur fights and the regional pro fights, you kind of learn how to deal with that. You kind of learn how to maneuver through that. So that energy is not really there. All it is just being amped up and ready to get the fight started.
Yeah, but at that point, it's pretty much too late to be scared. You just gotta go.
Exactly.
You gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up.
Hey, Sadiq, speaking of books, have you read The Fighter's Mind by what's it, Sam Sharim? I can't remember his last name.
No, I honestly I never even heard of that. Fighter's Mind.
Yeah, is it The Fighter's Mind? Yeah. Well, anyway, I read that the end of last year, and it talks about, it goes into like Ken Shamrock, Randy Couture. It talks about what's the famous Iowa wrestler?
The undefeated Dan Gable.
Dan Gable, yeah. This guy goes on to interviews with all these people. Kenny Florian's one of them, and like, they just talk about how like they get prepared for fights and like what they do like in the middle of fights, and they're just their mindset throughout the whole thing. I thought it was a very good book.
I'll put that on my list. I'll put it on my list.
Yeah, that was a good one.
What are you reading now, Jared?
What am I reading right now?
Yeah.
Well, I started Origins by Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
There was another one that I had also started. I can't remember what it is now. I fell off on it.
Mm. Yeah, I just got this fucking book by Sam Smith. Like, it's a big time book, but it's the Jordan Rules. Like, I just like the last, I don't know, like 3-4 weeks, I've just been in like a Jordan like YouTube vortex. Mm-hmm. Just watching like nonstop basketball highlights. Just reminding myself.
You getting prepared for that documentary coming?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a couple of days.
I need
like
that next week.
Yeah, it's like
19th.
Yeah,
April 19th.
2 episodes.
Oh yeah, man, that's something. Thank God.
But dude, like I'm reading this right now. I'm like, all right, I listen to Bomani Jones's podcast, and he's doing like a book club. He does a book club like every summer, and it was this one. I was like, all right, I've never read it. Let me check it out. This following the 1991 Chicago Bulls, so the first championship they won. Like the reporter was with them for that. So I'm definitely
champion, Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, I'm trying to have this joint finished in like a week, man. I'm trying to just like go.
Is it a big book?
No, it's like 370 pages, something.
Is it a big book?
Well, no. I mean, I'll read a big book, dude. Honestly, I can't remember the last time I finished the book, and I actually do enjoy reading, but I can't even remember the last book I finished. It's had to have been close to 10 years.
Don't worry, we're on the same page. Audible saved my life.
Oh yeah, Audible is the shit.
The funny thing is, I have like plenty of books under my belt, and I tell people that I talk to people about books, but I've never read a physical book in my life. Audible, like literally, like.
Damn, I need to get hip to this shit, man, because like I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of like information that I feel like I'm missing out on educating myself sometimes. Other times,
it's 2020, man. You can find ways around it.
You got to broaden your horizons, man. Because you be finishing them games, man.
I don't know. I do the Audible joint. I listen to a lot of podcasts, but I definitely like to have the actual book in my hand sometimes. Oh, that's the other one I'm reading. It's called the Bible of Comedy. The Comedy Bible. It's basically just kind of walks you through how to write a routine, up to an hour special type joint. So I'm kind of dabbling in that too.
Word, that's what's up, man.
When these clubs open back up, I'm going on stage, motherfucker.
So are you going with the mustache or not? I see the mustache growing in, son.
Dude, when he pulled up to my house today, he said, "I'm gonna do something with this."
No, I had these patches.
I'm not even exaggerating. He even did like the whole,
No, I had these patches on my fucking cheek. It was
That's
annoying
your
me.
beard, man. That's your beard growing in.
Just don't let it grow out like mine to where it looks like you've lost all hope in life.
You gotta let that joint prosper, son.
Nah, I had to shave that.
It's funny. On Monday was Rhodey's birthday. Happy birthday, Rhodey, again. And she did like the virtual happy hour. There was like 16 people. There was a lot of people. And literally everybody was looking at my beard. They were like, "Are you all right, man? Like, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah," because I just had my white beater on and I didn't care. So I was just sitting there just drinking my beer just like a bum. So I did trim it up, so it does look a lot nicer. So just my 2 cents on the whole beard thing.
2 cents.
Let's put quotations on a lot.
Yeah.
It might not be a lot nicer. It's nicer. Oh man.
It's more acceptable than tolerable.
Yeah. So how's everybody's fucking quarantine going? Like, how's like life? Like, I know every single person in here has gotten the itch to go out somewhere. Like, I wish, like last week I got the mean itch. It was like 70-something degrees outside. I'm like, dude, I want to go out.
I know.
As soon as I get off work, I'm trying to go out, man.
I know what Sadiq wants to do.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, honestly, I don't have much of a life before, so this quarantine is like it took me back to high school. The only thing I'm not doing right now is training. So, so I'm just basically working out on my own and freaking playing video games and sitting around. Before all this extra time was just taken over by going to practice. But I'm not gonna lie, it came with some good stuff, man. I'm getting like a lot of miles in. I'm able to run a lot more than I usually am. So that's a little bit of a benefit that came from it. But I would like to get back to the gym and actually doing some skill progression training.
Nice.
That's for sure. Man. I know I missed the mats for real. Like I can't even do jujitsu right now. Like what? Come on.
That was the first thing that got shut down. Like, because we stayed at the gym for like a couple of days, even after they started shutting everything down. But I stopped doing jiu-jitsu like right away. Once they started talking about people passing on sickness, I was like, oh yeah, that's gonna be the first thing out the window right there. Yeah, and I tried to do striking for a little bit, but people were still showing up to the gym. Especially I got the keys to the gym, so I could go whenever I want. I'm thinking I'm gonna be there by myself. I end up showing up and there's like 10 other people, and then after a while we just had to cut it all out.
Yeah, I saw some pictures. I was like, wait a minute, are we really close right now? What's happening? Yeah, man. Like Dollar shut the joint down. Actually, I think it was like a week before, because he was kind of. I think I went that Friday or whatever. What happened?
Who?
Oh, you messed it. I went that
I
Friday.
I misplaced my beer. That's all.
Oh, I went that Friday and trained, and then I think it was like Saturday or Sunday. He put out that he wasn't gonna be doing the. We're gonna be closed till April 27th, or no, it was March 29th at that time.
Yeah.
And then they shut everything down.
Ending anytime soon, man. I know they're trying to be positive and stuff like that. I mean, it might end because they're trying to get the economy started up over again, but unless they come up with some miracle drug, I don't see any there's certain kind of businesses that I don't think are gonna make it through this.
Yeah. You gotta be careful, especially if they end it early. You gotta be like, yo, all right, y'all wanna end it because of the economy, but I'm gonna chill.
Yeah,
it'll flare back up.
Thinking about that today. I heard something, or my mom, I think, saw something on the news. They were talking about slowly, possibly opening or just limiting places again on May 1st.
Nah, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, she told me that. I don't know if she read that or saw it on TV or something, but I'm with you, Greg. Like, even when, like, I guess the lockdown or however you want to put it is lifted, or I'm going to take my time too, man, because, you don't want, because there's going to be like this surge of people being everywhere. And, people are going stir crazy and whatnot. It's not really affecting me as bad because I'm still going to work every day. So, like, the only thing I'm really not doing is going out at night and just being, like, a bum with y'all and whatnot. Honestly.
I'm not a bum every night, sir.
But I'm with Sadiq on this one, like, being in the house, like, before I, all that stuff like doesn't really bother me. But I know my mom and sister, they're probably kind of had enough of it because they've been in here for almost a month now.
Right. That's a lot.
So, yeah, they're just, I mean, there's not much you can do. I mean, they're both, my mom's older and my sister has asthma. So, you got to be very careful with this stuff, man,
Oh, sure.
That's about it.
My mom's older and she has asthma. So,
so yeah, there you go, man. You got
I have to keep an eye on her.
So yeah, but I mean, when it's over, and hopefully it's not overly long, but it's only one day at a time. The first thing we really, really need to do is we need to go to a Nats game. We got to go to a baseball game or something, man.
Yeah, that's of course. They're not even playing right. Oh my God!
All right, so they're proposing like playing sports. Sodiq, you're a professional athlete. What would you fight in an arena with nobody?
Like,
oh man, that's such a damn good question.
That might be pretty dope. Like, what do you think would be different?
100%. Trust me. I haven't seen a single athlete yet. I don't see a reason why any athlete would be against that because you're not really doing your sport for the people in the audience. It's like, man, you're going to get a nice check at the end of the day. And, okay, so I'll give you guys an example. For me to get into the UFC, I won the contract on this show. It's called The Contender.
Right.
They bring the
real quick on that. That was one of my favorite fights of yours, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
But go ahead.
It has a lot to do with the stories. Like they brought in all the best prospects from the regional circuits from around the country, and it's like the best. Whoever puts on the best fight or has like a real good performance that night, you get a UFC contract. And on that night, we fought in the UFC's. They have this building that they own, and they just put on fights in there. There's no audience. It's just you and your coaches and the other fighters' coaches, like their friends and family, and the president of the UFC and the matchmaker. Mm-hmm. And that was probably like the best fight I've ever had because it basically turned the fight into practice. Like in my world, what you want to do is try to make the fight as close to what you do every day as possible.
Right.
Better they could like the more things they add in there to make it into like a practice session, the more you're gonna shine. So if they take the whole audience away, like that, don't nobody care about. I feel like it's gonna be the same thing for basketball players.
Yeah.
If they take the crowd away, people aren't interfering with like you're literally like now you're just playing with your friends. Like you just take away one more obstacle. You feel me?
You might lock in even a little bit more. You might be
exactly.
A little more. Yeah. All right, I got you.
Hey,
baseball though, I don't know, man. Baseball is a long fucking sport, man.
But the players won't care. The players won't care.
I would definitely watch a couple fights.
The fans just add to it like if it's a high pressure situation.
But that's what I'm saying. In a high pressure situation, without the fans, you could calm down even more. It's like if they're riling you up and you need that energy, that's good. But it doesn't benefit as much as them when they're booing you. It's like like now you're just in the zone, just you and another guy fighting.
That's true.
So hey, that's a good point. So when you're so out of all the fights that you've had, man, and your opponents, have you ever had an opponent or maybe opponents' fans like heckle you or give you a hard time in public, or if they saw you or anything that nature?
Not necessarily. I've had an opponent that like talk like mad shit, like a lot, but the fight was
Can we name his name?
His name was Dylan Took. It was
I don't know who that is.
Yeah. We fought in Jordan. We went all the way across the planet.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah. So and the fight was quick, so it was nothing there. But he talked mad shit, like he even tried to fight my coaches, and usually like coaches are off the table, So
yeah. Wait, who was he trying to fight though?
He was talking shit to Master Lloyd.
Yeah. Son.
What the fuck?
But Jamal was there too, right?
Yeah, but he wasn't gonna do anything. He was just like a big trash talker. After the fight, he's all humble and stuff. But when it comes to like the crowd is always gonna root for your guy, like no matter what, like you're gonna hear that. So you learn to tune that one out real quick, because they got friends and family and stuff in the crowd. So the crowd's opinion doesn't really matter, positive or negative, like for real, you'll see like the crowd, like they switch like that too. So they could change their opinion in the middle of the fight. So the quicker you learn to ignore that stuff, the better it's going to be for your career.
Sure.
No, nice. Got real professional answers and shit.
Hey, motherfucker. Hey, look.
I'm not new to this.
Yeah, look, man. Well, I've been trying to tell y'all that. Look, Sodiq, tell these people how embedded I've been through the years in this whole shit.
Well, man, 100%. So you was there so I got to the gym in 2012. Yep. And yeah, you was already there, and you've been there for a long time before me. So.
Yeah, I think I got there either late 2007 or 2008. I can't remember the exact.
Yeah, so yeah, if anybody knows what they're talking about, he definitely knows what he's talking about.
Oh yes, he reminds us of it every day.
No, I don't.
Don't worry.
No, because
you guys gotta understand though, it gets very like frustrating. I mean, not frustrating sometimes, but you'll be surprised the kind of questions you get proposed like from people that don't follow the sport, you know. So I can.
Okay, well, I won't ask you anything too fucking weird. All right. I'll keep it kosher.
Or then you get the people you meet and they'll be like, yeah, I used to train so and so, blah blah blah, and then I'm just looking at you like, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
Why are you lying to me
those
right
kinds of people? Yeah, you gotta stay away from those people. People looking for clout and shit. Yeah,
man.
Yes.
But it does come in handy sometimes because I've been at like birthday parties where I'll meet like there'll be like a chick and a couple dudes in a conversation, and then one dude will be talking about MMA, and then I'll be like, oh, did I hear MMA? Because I gotta go in, you know what I'm saying? So I'll go over, and then I start getting the conversation, and then the girl will be like, so what belt are you in jiu-jitsu? And I'm like, I'm a purple belt, and then really? My brother's only a blue belt. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
It's crazy as hell, man. I love it though. I wouldn't trade it. I would not trade it for anything. I've gotten so much from martial arts.
For sure, maybe $1 billion.
Oh well, yeah. Because I don't have a black belt. I don't have a black belt yet, so I might trade that purple belt in for $1 billion.
Money. I need that money. That's what's up, man.
That's facts. Hey,
It's nothing to gain. It's a couple things.
Yeah. Take me back. What was I gonna say? So, Sodiq, man, since you said you were playing video games and stuff, man, what are you playing? What do you currently play? What do you like, dude?
So the only thing you guys would be interested in, I've been playing Warzone, and that's mostly been about it.
God.
All right.
I'm starting to get my skills back, man. I had to shake the rust off, because I never had free time. But when this stuff started, the first day I just kind of like sat around like, man, what am I doing? It's like,
yeah.
I started playing Warzone literally like March 24th or something like that. Cool. But yeah, I'm shaking the rust off, man. I've gotten a couple wins too.
That's good, man.
I had my first solo win like 2 days ago, but I've gotten a lot of team wins. I think I got like 13 or 14.
That's dope, man. What do you play on? You play on PC, Xbox, PlayStation?
No, I play Xbox. I know those PC guys are good. I hear like I can't even imagine like playing with a mouse, like playing a shooting game with a freaking mouse.
I play on Xbox too, man, and so does Greg. I don't know. I can't speak for Jared right now.
PS4, baby.
He's a loser.
Yeah, I can't speak for Jared right
terrible now. Competition on the PS.
But this loser's getting 2 free games today.
Whoa. That's actually three free games.
Because they're doing it for like a campaign. It's the stay-at-home campaign, so they're giving up Uncharted.
The Nathan Drake collection.
Yeah, the Nathan Drake collection, and then Journey.
Oh wow!
So
that's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. The PlayStation people do get a lot of like bonuses outside of Xbox. Like even before, like back in the day, before they started paying. Like I remember Dave wasn't paying initially, even when Xbox first came out. We've always been paying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's free. PlayStation used to be free.
Yeah. Back in they had the big network adapter that you put on the back of the PS2.
Oh my god.
Oh, you talking way back? We talking about war. We talking.
Yeah. I'm old, man. I'm old when it comes to stuff.
Hey, I'm not the oldest here, but dude, I remember I had the PS2 in college with the big ass network adapter on the back, and that's like as soon as I went to college in 2001, and that was the fastest internet I've ever had. So I was like, yes, me plugging my fucking Dreamcast, my PlayStation in my dorm room, and I had to buy this fucking network adapter. That shit was so fucking big, dude. Part
It's
of
like
That's
$40,
because
dude.
I
It
had a
was more than
PlayStation.
that.
I never even knew that you could play that
You
with
had-
other people.
Well, you probably had the slim PlayStation. You
Yeah,
had the slim one. Yeah, no.
yeah.
I'm
The
talking
little
about.
book size one was dope
Yeah.
as fuck.
Yeah.
That's
one I
probably
have.
one of the coolest consoles I've ever seen.
I still have that joint.
Oh, I had the
The one that's like literally the size of a book.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's a
has like
slim.
the two stairs kind of look on the front.
Not a real slim PlayStation.
Oh no,
dude,
I
it's
didn't
like-
have the
It's a original
slim. I had the original PS4, PS2 joint, and then the 3 I had the original, the big oval, shiny joint.
All right.
Nah, man. The one we're talking about is literally like the size of like, it's like, honestly, it's like the size of a game case. All right, but maybe a little bigger. And
Yeah,
it's
I'm
like
gonna
just
say a
as
little
thick.
bigger.
No homo.
Yeah.
I hate to say that kind of shit.
It was.
You know, I have to validate. All right, I have
Yeah,
to
it was-
validate.
It was pretty.
So
solid.
now that console was pretty tight. That console was pretty tight.
Y'all fucking with the Final Fantasy VII re-release, the remaster?
No, I've never been a Final
well-
Fantasy fan.
Really? Yeah. I only like that one.
Honestly, I played the demo and I played the original.
Mhm.
But the game, it's not the full game.
Yeah,
It's
they're
only
releasing
part
it in parts. Yeah, 3
Yeah,
parts.
so for me, like that's the game is beautiful and it plays well, but like if you're not getting, dude, the whole thing might not be released for like another 3 years, like or more.
But that's
So
how they
it's-
did-
It kind of like, I don't know, it defeats the purpose for me.
But how long did you wait to play Shenmue, the last one?
Oh, Shenmue 3?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
The
How
same
long did
day.
it-
Like almost 2 decades.
Yeah, no, I'm saying no, how
oh.
how long was the wait? These beers are kicking my ass right now.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, 18 years, dude. 18
That's
years.
crazy.
Speaking
So
of that, hey,
you
Sadiq,
can wait
remember
3.
remember when you told me like you don't when you turned 21 that you don't think you would ever drink?
Yeah, yeah.
Look, now you see why, right?
I'm 26 now, and I'm thinking by the time I'm 35, I'll never drink.
Yeah. And look, and that's why I said I was like, don't do it, dude. I was like,
Yeah,
don't do
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
It's
definitely
funny.
don't, man. If you're not doing it, don't
My
do
mom told me a while ago. I think I passed the age where now is there's no point, you know.
Yeah, it's not.
It's
just
kind of like
Yeah, there's no point. Don't do it.
it. Keep
Yeah.
pursuing your dreams,
I'll
man. Don't
save
be
that
like
stuff
a-
for when I'm retired. I'll get nice and big and just sit there and smoke and drink with my family.
Oh, well, yeah.
Like
Smoking.
me. It's like nah.
Smoking.
Just drink wine and smoke cigars when you're like 40.
Um,
Yeah.
Enjoy life. And
I
you
feel
do
like
it.
by then though, I probably wouldn't even care.
So what's your what's your I wouldn't say end game, but what is your goal? Like, I mean, obviously to become number 1 in your division. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah,
Um,
and honestly, it's not even just that, but winning the titles and stuff like that bring opportunities to you. You know, opportunities. I can help a lot of people in my career. I got a big family, and you know, I'm from Nigeria, so a lot of my
Okay.
money goes back to helping a lot of those people over there. And I'm trying to change my parents' life too. You know, because they sacrificed a lot to bring me over here. So the better I could do with this, the better I could do with them.
Nice.
Hey, that's fucking sick, dude. Like always, yeah. We need more people like you in the world. That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome that you do that, man. What was I gonna say? Hold on.
Can you
Let me,
can you kind of go a little more a little deeper into that, Sadiq? Well, I have a couple questions about that. Well, involving that, but can you go a little bit deeper into like what you're doing to help get your family to where you want to be?
Oh yeah. So the end goal with them is to try to get them visas to come over here, but that it seems like it gets harder and harder like with time too. And you know, Trump is in the office; he's making a lot of big moves against that.
Yeah.
So right now, it's mostly just been sending like financial help, and it's not nothing new. I've been sending them money since like back in the regional days. You know, I remember back in the day, I'll be fighting for like $1,000 or like 1,500 or something like that, and I'll send it to them. And the way the currency exchanges over there, it's a lot of money. Like not a big crazy amount of money, but it's way more money than it would be worth here. You know, so like $1,000 here, by the time you know it, you've already spent it. But over there, you know, it'll keep them steady for a little while, and they'll actually get to enjoy it. So I've been doing that since like the local days, and from back then, they thought like I was already balling or something, you know, because they're seeing me send like $1,000 or 1,500. They're like, oh man, he's like giving us like a little bit off the side or something. They're not knowing like I'm giving y'all the check, you know,
Oh,
like
God,
I'm
yeah.
getting it, you know. So as my career kept developing, you know, it's starting to get better and better. And like now I'm in a decent spot where, you know, I can't just give them a little bit on the side and they'll still be happy. So the better I do, the more I'll be able to help them out.
That's fucking sick.
That's what's up, bro.
Be in a position to help others, you know. With great power comes great responsibility.
Definitely.
Now, my other part to that question was, with all this going on, have you heard like what it's like over there right now?
Yeah. So they're actually, man, I'm about to put on my Hotep hat, man, and go.
Dude, hey, look, that's what this show is, bro.
Do I have to change my glasses?
I'm gonna kick RJ off this chat pretty soon, you know.
You want to turn Dr. Umar out here?
Hey, he one of us. Bro.
So it's in two parts. So on the coronavirus part, they're shut down just like everywhere else, and it's crazy because I can only speak for where I'm from. Like Lagos is like basically overpopulated, so I'm kind of surprised that they're able to keep people in the house, but like they're basically like beating their ass until they get inside the house. You know, it ain't America. So if they tell you do something, you don't do it, you're gonna feel the consequences. You know,
Yeah.
So all of them are in lockdown. There's some essential workers that are still working outside, but the amount of cases over there is not much, you know. It's kind of the same thing that happened over here initially when they were saying, remember when everybody's like, oh, black people can't get it. That's because black people ain't traveling to China. So we're not gonna be in the first wave of people to get it, you know.
Yeah.
But by the time it makes it over here, everybody's gonna feel that, John. Which is basically what happened, you know. It got over here and started spreading. But over there in Nigeria, it's not a lot. But now where I put on the Hotep hat is last week they caught like 15 doctors or something that landed in the airport. The thing is, I love my people, man, but I hate the government. You know, it's so corrupt, man. It's
Sounds like
so
America.
Corrupt. Yeah, man, at least they'll lie to you over here. Like, or they'll put some effort. They'll put some effort into making it look good. You know?
Yeah.
Over there, they're not doing it. So, like, look at this situation. 15 Chinese doctors land in Nigeria. They didn't even land in like a big city, you know, like they just land in like they land in the capital, but it's not anywhere near the big city, and they're not expecting people to have like cell phones and stuff like that. Somebody recorded them and posted it on social media, and it just blew up. And now they're getting pressure on asking them, what are these people doing here, you know? They're like, oh, we're here to help. We're here to help. What's Chinese people trying to help us in Nigeria for? So we're here to help. We're just sent out 15 random doctors for no reason. And the reason why I'm not feeling it is because I see those like news reports of people talking about when those two French doctors, when they was talking about, oh, let's go check vaccines in Africa, you know, the same way we did with the AIDS stuff. We could go test out our vaccines in Africa. And like, it's little stuff like that. Nigerian government are always quick to sell out their people. The guy that they were pressing on the news report, they were asking what he's doing there. And he's like, you know, you always help your friends. When your friend needs help, you're going to help them. And the news report is asking him, so are you saying that the Nigerian government asked you to come over here? And the dude's just running circles around the damn question without ever giving a straight answer. So if they're there to help, which I highly doubt, because I don't know why the hell why they will be there to help. Why they will be there to help us, you know. Yeah. But the way I see it is like, because they're already they're screwing us in Nigeria anyways. They keep giving out these loans at such a like high return rate, and they're just using it to just scoop up people's lands. Like over there in Africa, once you own a land, it's yours forever because you're not paying taxes on it. So like now they're coming in and just snatching that junk up from people, and like they don't care if it's like people from the rural areas, people from the cities. So they've already been screwing us already. And then when they added on this little coronavirus stuff, and I know they're talking about, oh, we're okay in Wuhan now. Like the Chinese media has ever been freaking honest about anything. You know, it took them forever to actually say they were suffering, and now they're all right and it's all good with them. And now they're in Nigeria to help us out. You know, so that's basically
they're not helping nobody out.
Exactly.
To be honest, they might be worse than the English coming in to certain countries.
Man, trust me, I'm trying to tell you, I could put on the hat if you want. But,
Hey man, look, we've been kind of deep in the zone before. Like I get too hyped.
When all this stuff originally started, and like there was something about all the Chinese people are being mistreated and blah blah blah. Like there's a lot of people attacking them, all that stuff. I was like, it's always evil and ignorant to attack somebody just because of their race. Yeah. But don't get it twisted. Chinese people don't mess with us black folks. Do not get
I knew I knew that. Well, first of all, I knew Japan was like that.
If you see how they was acting when the Ebola stuff was happening, like people act like they just forgot about all these little videos of how they were treating Africans. It's like Nigerians go to China and Asia all the time. It's like the way they've been treated is not a mystery, you know. So it's like I'm not expecting people that come from that culture or that government. It's not necessarily the people, but I'm not expecting their government to be helping out of the kindness of their hearts.
Well. First of all, you're right, and I'm kind of leaning. I've been leaning a lot. Before I was kind of. I always try to be objective about things, but like lately, just the stuff that I've seen is like, like I don't want to say it, but like fuck China, dog. Like I can't like I cannot fuck with them people right now. Like not I don't want to say them people. Their government.
It's the government.
I cannot fuck with their
people.
Government.
It's never the people because the government is treating the citizens of the country the same way. You know.
Yeah.
It's always their government. The same thing I say. Fuck the Nigerian government. I love my people, but the government's corrupt as hell.
Yeah, and same thing with over here. Our government fucked up.
Absolutely.
Governments everywhere are fucked up because I've talked to
Canada's kind of.
I don't know if I want to say his name, but
Canada's kind of.
We know him. I've talked to someone from Brazil, and I don't want to know if I want to equate him. He's like, yeah, they're fucking corrupt as fuck.
Yes. The best thing that's helping right now is social media. This technology is changing a lot of stuff.
Oh,
you know? Because a lot of countries have to catch up to each other. Like now that you all could like see what's going on anywhere else, it's like I also equate it to back in it's funny that not the last time but a couple times when we went back to Nigeria, my mom was talking to the women and it was like, yeah, once you get to America, like all this stuff that you're doing with your husband and your boyfriends, that just gonna go right out the window. You know? Because they say over here, like America's ran by women, you know. But it's not that it's ran by women. It's just the women over here know their worth, you know. So like they're willing to stand. They're not willing to stand for no bullshit. But with social media being introduced and these people starting to see each other, you don't have to come here anymore. Like the whole world is kind of in one big bubble. It's just taking the people that are stuck in the old ways. They're struggling to just hold on to that junk, you know.
I've noticed that. Yeah, I've noticed that just by talking to older people or just talking to my mom. Like, my mom grew up during the civil rights shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was born, like, grow into that Jim Crow and all that shit. So she still feels that pain. Like, I can hear it all the time. Every time something happens, like, I can feel the pain. You know what I'm saying? She's a light-skinned woman. Like, so she got it from both sides. She got it from black people and white people. So it's like, I feel the hurt now. And now that I'm older, I understand the hurt a little more. It's like, you're not changing those type of people's minds. You're not just her. I'm not just saying her, but I'm saying like just old white people, old white men.
Older generation. It's just an older generation.
You can't change their mind. You just gotta wait it out. You know what I mean?
Hey, I was talking to a good friend of mine recently, and he was like, man, bro, we can't just say that, man. Because I feel like we have to try to change those people. I was like, man, I hate to be a pessimist, but you gotta wait for them to die. It's like as long as they have that power, nobody willingly gives up power, you know? No. That's why it's so dangerous to keep feeding somebody. That's why the same thing, like, I'm not super political, but these same people that are like real, like die hard, like Trump guys, it's like you shouldn't lean towards one side too much, no matter anything. You should always be able to be swayed by something.
Yeah,
like
objective.
anybody that just say I'm only doing this every single time in this situation, you're crazy. You know, you shouldn't like somebody shouldn't be able to have your back end no matter what they do. You know,
Yeah.
So
you got to be able to. You got to be able to listen to the other side and
100%.
come up with your own conclusion of things. You can't just
100%.
taking on.
And with him, is like they're giving him more and more power. It's like he's never gonna give this power up. And sooner or later, when it becomes time for the other side to be in his position, they're gonna have all this power that you just gave this guy, and they're gonna try to push it too. So you gotta have a balance in there.
Well, that's the problem with the two-party system. What were you about to say, Greg?
Oh, when? I have no.
Oh no,
I was listening, dog. I was.
Oh no, go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, go ahead. What was you supposed to say?
Nothing. I'm good. I did have another question. Now I can't think of what it was. Oh,
sorry. If you let me ramble, I'm a ramble.
Nah, I was listening. I was locked in. I was like, yeah.
And I thought Greg had something to say.
I mean,
no, but that was he was on a ramble, but that was good. That was a good joint.
It was a productive ramble.
Let's kind of shift gears. I know RJ and Greg are big Dragon Ball Z fans, and I know your name comes from
wait a minute,
Dragon
hold
Ball
on.
Z.
But wait, let me show you something.
He's about to pull out the box set
on the floor. Oh shit, my fucking foot is asleep.
See, that's how I know you're a real one, Jerry, because everybody always talk about freaking Superman. Only the
come
real
on,
ones
dude.
know where
Fucking
the
VHSs, dude.
Sodiq, man.
Oh,
I know you, dog.
Exactly.
We punch each other in the face.
Your mic is muted.
Oh shit, that was my bad.
RJ's mic is muted.
I got him. He was rustling. My bad. You were rustling around, and I had to mute you, and I forgot to unmute you.
Oh, me?
Oh, cheers.
No, RJ.
Oh shit.
It's all good, man. Nah, man.
Cheers, RJ.
So Sodiq, I used to have until I unfortunately got rid of some. I used to have the whole DV on VHS, man, like from the Saiyan Saga all the way to what is the last one? Not World Tournament. It's God damn it.
The Boo?
Boo. It's like a version of the Boo Saga, like the very, very last. So I had all on VHS, and I used to have them on my shelves, man. And yeah, I'm a big fan too. And
dude,
our buddy T. Marley is as well.
Oh yeah. Hey, we should have had G on here too.
RJ, remember when I told you I spent one summer between my freshman and sophomore year of college just smoking weed and dubbing all the fucking Dragon Ball Z tapes?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And I made my own labels and shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit, dude.
Look at the episodes though.
You know that shit.
130, 60, 148.
Yeah, this Dragon Ball. That's Dragon Ball. That's not Dragon Ball Z. I got more. I can't.
Hey, RJ, I think I deleted that picture that I took of your joint.
I gotta upload these shits though, because they're all.
That is some OG shit right there. That's an OG anime head right there.
Yeah.
That's the shit I've been on, man. And I was fucking old when I was watching that shit. I was like, what was that? Like 18, 19?
Man, you're never too old for anime. You see now that it's funny. It's like when people don't grow up with stuff.
I'll go ahead. I'll be right back.
They try to reject that jump, but now that it's part of pop culture, everybody is like, "Oh man, that's pretty cool. That's pretty good." It's like, yeah, we've been telling y'all to join the school, you know. It's like,
but here's the thing I noticed is like, I'm 36, so that's like the age range that I'm at. So it's like you meet chicks and they're like, "Oh, I don't like when they play video games. Play video games. Well, you're too old to play video games. You're too old to play video games." Like, dude, I've been playing video games my whole life.
Yes.
Like,
yes, sir.
I could back off of the jumps, but I'm always gonna have like video games. I grew up fucking Nintendo. I had the original NES. I had the original Game Boy. Like I had the Sega. You know what I'm saying? I just went along the line, and now I'm 36, and the new shit is out. The Xbox is out. I've had this Xbox for however long it's been out. When the next thing comes out, I'm damn near 40, and I'm like, okay, well, shit, I got the money to go cop this real quick. Let me go ahead and get that joint. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't.
The way I saw it, I was like, man, when I was a kid and I had to rely on other people for my entertainment or what I found fun, it's like I wasn't letting y'all stop me as a kid. Now that I'm an adult and I can find my own entertainment, I'm damn sure not gonna let somebody's opinion dictate what I find fun. You know?
Yeah, this is what this is how I like to spend my
There
time.
you go.
You know what I'm saying?
It's all about your own.
But
it's about your enjoyment too, man.
I'm gonna dub these Dragon Ball tapes and like upload them somewhere.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
so you was like what, doing like voiceovers, or you just recorded a bunch of episodes onto the tape?
No, all right. So peep this. This is what I was doing, right? And you're like 10 years younger than me. So you remember VCRs?
Yes.
Okay. So no, I mean it's a good question.
It's actually a very valid question. I agree.
So basically, I was a bootlegger. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
Not even air quotes. Like literally, I was like, that's what I did. So I would take I grew up in a house with numerous VCRs. Like we were fortunate enough to have a VCR in the basement. And then when I went to college, I had like a little TV with a VCR on it. And I realized you could take one VCR and connect it to the other TV, to the VCR. So if I play something on this VCR, I can record it on this VCR. So I found this place that RJ, I just saw it still open in College Park, called Pandora's, what was it? Pandora's Box?
Pandora's Cube.
Pandora's Cube. So they used to be down here in Virginia in Springfield. And they would just let you rent a Dragon Ball Z tape for like $2. Like you can come in, and they had all of them, like original Japanese language with subtitles. You know what I'm saying? Non-dubbed. So I was like, oh, cool. And I was like, what, 18? When I went to college kind of young. I went to college when I was 17, so I turned 18. So that summer after my freshman year, I was like 18 years old with nothing to do. I had like enough money to go rent to spend $4 on 2 tapes. So I used to record football games for my dad. Like old Redskin games. This is a long story. Hang in there. So
thanks for letting us know.
So like real young, I figured out.
Returned, thank God.
I'm back.
Real young, I figured out how to take, because when you used to buy VHS, you used to say, record time 6 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, or some shit like that. Like it was just different settings. I figured out how to do that. Like I can get 12 hours on the tape. You got to change the speed. So I was just going like every 2 days, I'd take like $4, rent 2 VHSs with, I think it was maybe, what's this? This is 136 to 148. So that's 8 episodes.
That's two cassettes.
That's 12 episodes. So that's 2 cassettes. So I can put 2 cassettes on one tape. So I go, and then I would just sit there, smoke weed, and watch like the joints while I dubbed them, because you have to play them in real time. I did that shit for the whole summer. And then
you did this to have the tapes on you, or you were trying to sell them out?
No, I just was like, yo, I'm gonna dub the tapes. Like, I'll have them. But then it was like, DVDs. I'm like, oh, DVDs. Oh, these are way smaller and they don't take much space.
Wait, you said you're gonna double? That means you're gonna do English over it?
No, I wasn't dubbing. I mean, dub them like.
Like record it. Okay.
Like, yeah, I was using the.
I was like, damn, you know Japanese.
Colloquial.
That's what I thought too. That's how the story started.
No. Yeah, I said dub, but I meant like record. So I would record the original Japanese versions. So I have every episode of Dragon Ball. I have every episode of Dragon Ball Z, and I have every episode of Dragon Ball GT in this house.
Dope. What's your opinion on Dragon Ball GT?
It was ass. It was ass, but it existed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I'll tell you what. Okay, it wasn't the greatest. I don't give it as much flack as people did, but because it wasn't good. But when it got good, it was pretty good. Because the Omega Shenron stuff was good. Baby was good, and Android 17 was good. It's just everything that connected each of those three was so bad, man.
It was so ridiculous. Like, why is he a little kid now? Why is he a back?
Yeah. They always find a way to.
He has adult children
in some manner. So they're like, hey, he's lived his whole life again, so let's just make him a kid again. Type of shit to keep it going, keep your protagonist from aging and all that other shit.
I will say this: the best thing to come from Dragon Ball GT was the art. Like the
art, yeah, for sure.
The art today is like from GT.
That's why the same stuff now with Dragon Ball Super.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really. I honestly like GT more than I like Super for real. Because Super does the same kind of thing where like there's not enough on the line, and it's always like joking. It's never serious. Like like the stuff with Kid Buu and stuff like that. It's like, oh dang, like this is serious. The whole world's gonna be destroyed.
Yeah, when Vegeta sacrificed himself and shit. Yeah.
Now they got Super. They talk about erasing the universe, but like it's like a little kid looking god guy, and he's like laughing and they're making jokes on the universe get destroyed. So like the stake is not the same.
Yeah, I could never get into it because I can't catch it. Like, I never know when it comes on like TV.
I don't think it's worth it, honestly.
Yeah, I saw it was going and I saw it was moving. So I'm like, damn, I want to get back into it, but like I can't get into Naruto. I just aged. I think I aged out of it.
Man, you missing out. See, because of my age, I was able to catch like the peak of Dragon Ball Z, but Naruto would be like when I'm like, let me say like 6th, 7th grade. That's like, so technically that would be what my Dragon Ball Z was, because that's like
that's the perfect time.
Yeah, that's like when I'm old enough to like get the concept. I'm not gonna lie, Naruto's legit. It's the hype. It's worth the hype. But it's like the same thing as Dragon Ball. Like the first couple episodes are not gonna be very enticing, but as a whole show altogether, it like. I'll have to say it's better than Dragon Ball Z, but it's not a fair comparison because, Dragon Ball Z came first, so they could just build on everything that show has done, But it's definitely a good show.
You gotta put a lot of time into like anime. Yeah. That's why I'm like, I wish I could watch. Like, I see Naruto, I see the artwork, I see everything about it. I'm like, damn, I know I would like that. I know I would like, but it's so, and I have to watch it from the beginning. Like, I have to like.
But
watch
you know what could actually help? There are websites where you just look up filler, or and it will tell you the list of like episodes that you could just throw out the window. And that's how I got my girl into anime, because my girl's one of them girls. She was like, she would never watch Dragon Ball Z. Because like that's her opinion of what anime fans are, the people yelling and powering up in the hallway, So like, that's for the weirdos. That's for the weirdos. So I got her into like shows that I know is easy to transition into, and shows that are like quick where you don't have to worry about fillers. Like it's just plot, And whenever filler come up, we just skip the episode.
Okay, that makes sense. I might have to do that because I was like, yo, I remember it was on Netflix. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna watch it from jump. I'm like, how many episodes is this? Oh, I can't do it. I got to work.
Yeah. Anything it's time consuming. Getting into something and investing in something is very time consuming.
I watched when I was in college, I watched Metal Gear Full Metal Alchemist.
Wait, that's my favorite anime. Not the original one. The original one's good, but they remade it.
Bloodline. Brotherhood.
The guy that's making the manga, that's writing the manga, they caught up to the show, so the show started making up stuff as it went along. So they remade it into Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and then that follows the manga completely. That's my favorite anime of all time.
Sodiq, you sound like a robot right now.
You say your sounds off a little bit.
Oh, hold on. Maybe it's because this notification came in. Is it better now?
Nope.
See, it's because we started nerding out on anime. They told us to cut
it out. Yeah, they were like, no, you can't talk about that.
Turn it down a couple of
notches. Let me see maybe if I can.
I don't know. But yeah, no, I was the original.
I'll put you in the waiting room and see what happens.
Make this man wait.
No, I'll put him right back in.
We will put you to sleep, goddammit.
You good now?
Yeah, you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Way better. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, no, I caught
That was Chinese hacking in.
Yeah, nah.
You're talking shit about the OG, huh?
I made some enemies. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. That's one of the best running jokes on Twitter or Instagram. Is all them little Hotep the Hat jokes, man. Them
Hey,
jokes, yo.
when my favorite one is the Russell Westbrook joint when he got the mustache.
Yeah.
Glasses, and all of a sudden the joint just like pops up on his head and starts glowing. Hold on.
Wait, is that the shit that I posted on one of the other shows? I think I know what you're talking about.
It's Stephen A. Smith jokes. Every time there's one with him with an eye patch, and the junk got like the little pyramid on his eye patch. I'm like, man.
I got him right here. If y'all want, I can't wait. I got him on my phone.
Back. I just started. Back to what we were talking about. I just started Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yeah.
I'm
heard
season
Brotherhood.
2.
Brotherhood is the better one.
Man, that's so what's happening around where you're at.
The butcher dude, the colonel not the colonel or major, somebody got killed by those two people. The one is the shapeshifter or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
yeah. Maze Hughes.
Yeah. And then the black dude just came in, and then the Scar guy like just came back to life. He's like back in the mix again. So that's where I'm at.
Man, that's a vicious show, man. That show, like the reason why that it's a close between that one and the Hunter x Hunter. That's my second favorite. But I feel like Full Metal Alchemist is better because it completed the show, and like you could watch almost every episode of that show and not feel like you wasted your time on the episode. You know, like every episode has something important that happens in it, and the ending is nice, man.
I don't like. I'm getting deeper and deeper. The more I get into it, the more I appreciate different aspects of it. Like the art, like you'll see like 3 different arts in one episode. But they're not even 3, like maybe 4 or 5. You'll see 4 or 5 different art types in one episode, and I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy. And then the fighting scenes are crazy, and then the Fuhrer is a beast from season 1 to season 2.
So many bodies on that damn show, yo. Like he has one of the highest rate of wins to losses in any show's history. Yo.
Oh, he's a fucking ridiculous motherfucker. He'll just stand there and like,
yeah.
And then the next thing you know, motherfucker's head is gone or some shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, the Fuhrer is the man.
The Sin of Wrath. Nah, that's my show, man. I mess with that show.
That the only reason I got on that is because 2 of my coworkers are anime fans. My one boy who started, he was there before me. He's from his family's from Liberia, and he's into MMA, and I got him into he's into anime, and I got him into doing MMA. Well, he don't do MMA. He don't like jiu-jitsu and all that shit. He does a lot of like Muay Thai.
Yeah,
his thing is Muay Thai. So, but then we had another coworker to come in. She's from Palestine, or she's Palestinian, and she's a huge anime fan. So they were like, yeah, if you want to watch Full Metal Alchemist, or you want to get into anime, watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And I started watching it, and I was hooked from that show.
Yeah, man, 100%. And then the only bad thing I'll say about what they just told you is the way I feel Brotherhood is here. So from here on, you're just gonna.
Oh, jeez. Well, they started from the top then.
But that's my opinion. You know, like there's other people that might think other shows are better, but to me, that's the cap of anime right there.
Yeah, well, it got me in. Like, I'm gonna start looking for some other stuff.
That's
yeah.
That's my favorite one.
Here we go.
The Hulk.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah,
I've seen that one
with the Hulk, and then the quote said, why would I smash when I can build?
Oh shit.
The funny thing with that, I don't know what you guys' opinion is with Dr. Umar, but like, man, all his little videos, like, the comment sections are just full of like pictures and stuff like that.
Is he homeless or what? Is he homeless?
He might be close to it.
Or does he live? Something's going on, man. He's always in that fucking.
The way I see it, And for a long time, I always felt like because back in the day, I have a lot of people like in my circle, and even at the gym, they're pretty woke, like they like being into that stuff. And
Right.
I used to always tell them back in the day, I always thought Dr. Umar was a clown, man.
Yeah.
Because like I don't get where these people get this thing about racism only applies to one certain race. I always saw Dr. Umar as a racist black guy. I was like, man, like this, like this.
And that's coming from somebody from a whole different country. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
To me, I've always seen him as a racist white guy. I was like, I love black people. I'm always pro-black, but there's a certain time when you get to a certain line on the fence, and it's like, all right,
you're going too far, bro.
But now he's saying all the ridiculous stuff at such a rapid manner. It's like now everybody's starting to see what I see.
Yeah,
because he's trying to stay relevant now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I think it is. Like, because at first I was listening to him. My bad, Greg. Like, I was listening to him at first, and I was like, oh, he got some real good points. And then he just started going off the chain. I'm like, dude, what's wrong with you, man? Like, this don't sound right. Like
donations. Donations.
That's what it is.
Donations.
That's my point.
Donations.
And then the one where he told the lady to give him more money.
Gave me $10.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's all you got, but next time do better. Give me 20.
Oh my
Damn,
God.
son, for real?
Yeah, he's a clown.
He had a Breakfast Club interview.
I'll show this.
He was talking to the Breakfast Club, and he said, because Bill Cosby and Meek Mill are from the same. I know because Bill Cosby and Meek Mill went to the same kind of jail, and they released Meek Mill the same week that they put Bill Cosby in jail, and he was like, "Don't y'all find that kind of weird? They had to free Mill so they can kill Bill."
Oh my God!
I did see that one. I did see that.
That was the end for him. It was like, what?
Yeah, it was like, nah, dog. I'm sorry. Like, what are you doing? Like,
I listened to Tariq Nasheed, and they were like on the same level.
And then they started trying to fight each other.
They got the beef, and then like Umar just fell off from there. It was like it's just jokes, man. It's like, what is going on, bro?
But I felt like he's always been saying ridiculous stuff like that. Like, don't get me wrong, he does have valid points sometimes. But he takes it way too far to the point where like now you're no longer just like pro-black. Now you're like fuck everybody else. It's like
something else.
that ain't the answer.
Yeah, you get to the point where you stop being pro-black, you start becoming anti everything else. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You still have to,
And we will never do that here at the Mad Scientist Lab podcast.
Oh,
fucking
home, RJ.
RJ brought it in. He brought that around circle.
Bring that shit home.
Take it home.
How many beers you in, RJ?
This is my fourth beer. This is my fourth
good.
beer.
Oh, you doing good this week.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I had two, and
I drank this whole bottle too, so shame on me.
Oh, you good?
Oh my God, I had 2 beers, and that's too much.
2 beers too much.
2 beers is too much right now.
Well, I've actually been doing really good since we haven't been out. Like, I mean, I'll drink for the show and stuff, but like,
sure,
there's no other reason to drink besides that. And
it's pretty boring. Like, it's just like, hey, let me do this, So, hey, before we do go, Sadiq, let me ask you something, man.
I'm not ready. I got a couple more questions, but go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so we're not leaving. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. Forget what I just said. Have you ever, since you kind of are in that spotlight now, have you ever come across any celebrity or anybody that you've looked up to and you were just like, oh shit, this is that person?
Yeah, so the thing with me is growing up, most of the people I've always looked up to were fighters, So, so once I got to the UFC, they kind of became my peers. So you have to
adjust your levels.
yeah. So it's funny because now I'm starting to get out of it because I like I said before, you can't let other people's opinions dictate what you find fun. So when I first got there, a lot of people around me told me not to act over like hyped, like don't be a fanboy to people because now they're your peers. And now that I've been here long enough, I kind of feel like that's a silly thing to do. You know, I don't feel like I should play down my appreciation for somebody else because I don't want to look like I'm a fan of theirs. If you're a fan, say you're a fan, you know. So like in the past, like since last year, actually, I've whenever I see any of them, I'm like, oh man, I tell them, you know, even the guy fought last after the fight, I didn't tell him before the fight, you know, because we're actually about to fight each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But after the fight, I told him, I'm like, yeah, I've been a fan of yours for a long time. But the person that was the biggest like that was probably, even though I listen to Joe Rogan all the time, that one it didn't really feel that big. But I saw George St. Pierre, and like, man, I took a picture with him, and like, it was super cool, you know. But I didn't really talk to him because that was around the time when I was still trying to listen to the people around me tell me not to be a big fanboy. But that's silly, man. So the next time I see him, I would definitely let him know.
Hey,
That's fucking sick, dude.
Look, GSP, he has a little stature, little level that is hard to kind of get past, for real. Like, if I met him, I'd be kind of a fanboy too. That leading off of that, I have a question. So, who are your top 3 fighters of all time?
Of all time?
Yeah.
Top 3 of all time. So I will put GSP is definitely in there, and before I used to rank BJ Penn pretty high, but I'm probably gonna have to take him off because the level of competition sometimes too, especially with sports like fighting, everybody didn't pick up quick enough. Like it's kind of what happened to Ronda Rousey. Once the girls started catching up, then you start seeing like the levels change.
Yeah.
GSP has some pretty good competition and some pretty good talent around the time when he was fighting. So he's definitely in there.
Wait, Sean Shirk though. Wait, Sean Shirk.
Yeah, nah, man. Sean Shirk wouldn't have
you've been deeper in the water than I have, so like you probably get a different understanding of it.
In today's era, I don't think Sean Shirk would be able to hang that well. But GSP, the people that he beat, some of them could still compete.
Solid.
Today, you know?
Yeah.
So I'll put George St. Pierre, and I'll put John Jones, no matter what anybody says or no matter what his outside antics are.
I don't want to ask you about that one, but like I can tell you I'm kind of done.
But yeah, his outside antics, you can't deny his skill, which is what's kind of keeping him down this path that he's at, because no matter what, he's undeniable.
He is the best. Yeah. Oh man, I'm glad you understand that.
Yeah. So that's kind of it's a lot easier to learn from your mistakes when consequences come out of them. Yeah. But when you're undeniable, you almost can't even blame him.
Who's gonna beat me?
Yeah,
best in the world, you know.
You can't blame him because life isn't giving him consequences, you know.
Yeah.
So
damn, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
When that lawyer said her client was suffering from affluenza. So whatever the affluenza version of being the best fighter in the world is, that's what John Jones got. So
ass kickinza.
Yeah, he got fucking can't get out of his own way.
Nah, it's called ass kickinza. I can kick anybody's ass in this room, so I'm gonna do whatever I want.
Like, God damn it, John! Like
ass kickinza.
First of all, John Jones, you're probably my favorite fighter. If you didn't have fucking trouble all the time, like
yes.
Fighters aren't perfect, man.
I try. The thing with it's like
explain. Okay, so here's the thing, Sodiq. Explain why John Jones's situation is not conducive to where he should be. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. So it's kind of basically what you just said is kind of it's like a slippery slope. Like that same effect just snowballs with fans, you know? Because if John Jones if he didn't get in as much trouble as he does outside of the arena, he's already the GOAT in the UFC. But he would be like a Michael Jordan, you know? Yeah. Like he would be like our Michael Jordan. And the only thing is, no matter what you say, the way that he fights and his record, he's probably still gonna have that same kind of vibe when he retires. But with all the trouble that came with it, is the company doesn't want to put a lot of spotlight on you. So they're going to find a way to erase you from history, which you can't blame them for because they got to make profits too.
Make money.
They're not like the UFC is it's not like it's not like basketball where you're some of these basketball players is like people are a fan of the actual player.
Yeah.
There are not that many UFC fighters where people are just coming to watch you. They're coming to like the UFC. The way they market their company is to make sure the brand UFC is what people are paying for. So they're gonna they gotta make that brand look as clean as they can. And with John Jones getting in all this little trouble, they just slowly but surely, you're starting to see it. They're slowly starting like erase them from the history books. You don't see them promoting them as heavy as they used to, or as heavy as they should with somebody that's accomplished as much as he has. You know, they got your boy Conor McGregor in there, and it's funny because he gets in a little bit of trouble too. But he got the.
he got the money to do it. He got the money.
He's got the proper 12 also. Like, Sadiq, you better get on that shit. I mean, I don't know how you gonna push it though. You don't drink it.
Do something healthier than that.
Yeah, do some healthy shit.
Yeah.
Find you a healthy drink.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I was supposed to pick a third person. So John Jones, GSP, and of all time, number 3. The third one will be a little bit hard, you know, because I do want to give Khabib some of his credit, but I feel like it's just because he hasn't been in the spotlight long enough, or maybe he needs to retire, because what Khabib is doing right now, especially with a record that he has and with how many people that he's beaten, you have to put his name in there too. But I just feel like the time and not enough time has passed and not enough has been accomplished like with big fights. So I guess I'll be stuck right now with just 2 with John Jones and George St. Pierre.
What was the question? I had to.
Oh, it was top 3 fighters.
Top 3 fighters? No Anderson Silva?
Nah.
Oh, wow, that's gonna hurt a lot of people right there.
Nah, not Anderson, man. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. Like, I'm a fan and everything, but
he stayed too long.
If I had to, because the thing is, you're forcing me to pick 3. Like, if I had to like pick like one from each weight class or something like that.
Okay.
When you're talking about all around, like all the fighters, and you can only pick 3, I don't see Anderson making that list.
See, but this shows he's a fan though, because every aspect of the art he enjoys. So that's like, I like
all of us. We all love it.
You're supposed to say yourself. Hold on, you're supposed to say yourself. The third one is you.
The
third one's me.
You gotta be realistic too, you know.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Cool. All time. Right now, I'm still in the not even the middle. I'm kind of like in the beginning of my career. So I'm not.
Sadiq's a humble dude, man.
Something first. Right. There's a difference between confidence and arrogance. You know.
Hey, you do know you're top 15 right now, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we gotta get to that number 1 spot.
No, I got you.
So right now, I'm number 13. For me to say
I looked it up because
all time. There's 12 people that could dispute that.
True.
But yeah, I can't put in Anderson because I don't. You got to compare Anderson's kill list to the rest of the people. You know, you got like if you stack up Anderson Silva's the people Anderson Silva beat and compare that with the people that John Jones beat. It doesn't really.
Okay, yeah, that's facts.
Yeah, it's not even close, you know.
Cormier, oh yeah, you're right.
It's not even close. So like, trust me, and like, it's no disrespect or nothing like that. And I'm a fan of Anderson too, but like the people that you beat definitely matters, especially when you want to talk about of all time. And it's the same thing. George St. Pierre has a lot of good people too. But Anderson Silva, like that middleweight class, didn't have a lot of talent in the beginning.
Right. Okay.
So
he definitely he suffers under the Roy Jones.
One more time.
He kind of suffers under the Roy Jones stipulation.
Yes, definitely, 100%.
He was real impressive beating whoever
because like his thing too is kind of like his age is what kind of slowed him down, you know.
Right.
And he didn't. He stayed a little bit longer than he should. I think Anderson might still fight, honestly, because I don't think he's officially retired.
Once he broke his leg, he should have said, "Hey, that's it, man. Well, that's pretty bad. It was a bad break, man." Ooh.
Definitely, you know, it was a clean break too. But they say sometimes that that's a little bit better than like fracturing it, you know.
I mean, but it was bad in terms of where it, like how it happened.
Yes.
It was in a main event.
Yes.
Everybody was tuned in. I was at work tuned in. Like, I'm watching this.
And it's just ugly to look at. It's just
ugly. It was like, oh, it just looked terrible.
Yeah.
Hey, do you think John Jones could beat Brock Lesnar in like a?
I think John Jones would beat Brock Lesnar if you woke him up at 5 a.m. in the morning and told him that he had to fight Brock Lesnar at 4:30 before he woke up that same morning.
Nice. I think so too. I just had to ask you.
Yeah. There's levels, man. There's levels. You gotta
I feel like
understand. Like I was saying before, there's a reason why he keeps getting in trouble. The dude is undeniable. You know.
I think he would. I think he would open up Brock Lesnar like a Ziploc bag.
I don't. It's not gonna be much of a competition. You know.
Those elbows would be.
Brock Lesnar was he wasn't the most technical guy, but he had a lot of physicality to back up what he was doing. But I don't think he could use that physicality to beat John Jones.
He can't strike. This is one of those dream matchups. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Nah,
if it happens, it'll be like I just waved at RJ. I don't know why.
The only in those dream matchups, the people that I see beating John Jones, like if it was just like in a fantasy world, is gonna start being. You got to go lower than his weight class.
Somebody that's more athletic than him.
They're gonna be better technicians. Not even just necessarily more athletic, but they'll have more tools to fight him with, and they're gonna have better technique.
Okay.
RJ, you good?
I wouldn't want to fight John Jones, bro.
Me neither.
Like, dude, those fucking elbows. I'm like, dude, ugh. Those motherfuckers look like they sting. Like, I'm not trying to get hit by something that stings.
His best asset is that he's found a way to maximize every advantage that he has,
especially his height.
Height. But it's not just necessarily his height, because there are a lot of tall fighters. But a lot of tall fighters make short fight like they're not tall, you know, or like they make tall people mistakes. John Jones rarely makes tall people mistakes, you know. All of his moves, his best weapons and his best tools are like they're more focused on being tall. Like he's not one of these tall guys who's gonna try to like left hook you on the inside, you know. Like everything he's good at are long people moves. So he's found a way to just make his one advantage and it's a big advantage too, you know, because like
that's why I could never get on inside of James Vick's bitch ass.
For you to touch him, you would have to work your ass off to touch him.
That's hard. That's hard to do.
Just to get him.
And you gotta catch him slipping, like calisthenic wise, like
people on that level don't slip though. That's the crazy part. Like when you've been training for a while and like, man, they don't slip, dude. Like even in jiu-jitsu, like you get to a certain level in jiu-jitsu,
the mistakes become rarer and rarer.
Yeah, it's like there's no rocking a Bama back and forth to get him to try to sweep him and find a missing spot. You got to actually do technique to catch a Bama slipping. Like it gets hard at the higher levels. And like, look, bro, I commend you like for doing your work.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Man, all right, so yeah.
RJ,
I've been around. I don't know. RJ's floating around. I've been around, for, like you said, from the beginning. Is it true that you used to walk to the gym?
Nah, not walk to the gym. I used to take the bus. It's just like it was like a 3-hour ride. But
a 3-hour ride from the bus, and then you walk from the bus stop to the gym.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nah. It wasn't like just one bus though. It was like a whole adventure. That's why it used to take 3 hours, because I couldn't afford the train. You know, like I think back then the metro. I don't know how much it is now, but back then the whole ride to get to the gym was $6, so it'd be $12 in a day. But then I don't know how it worked now, but then it was the card though to use a bus was like $1.50 as long as you had the Connect and jumps. I don't know if they still do the Connect and Smart Trips.
I don't know. I've never taken a bus in my life, but
so
life.
But that it'll be just
not the public bus. So like when the next world champion was going, that was when you got there, 2012.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask Master Lloyd if I can post some footage from that. So when that happened, where were you at? Like, what was your mind at that point?
So the only thing was, I think I was a little bit more naive with the time frame, like how long it will take me to get to like this point that I'm at right now. But I've never doubted that I was gonna get to this point, you know.
Yeah.
But and my thing was also always like, because I've been telling people I was gonna be in the UFC since I was like in middle school. My thing was just, what am I gonna accomplish when I get to the UFC? Like that's gonna be the journey.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
getting there was never, like, I never really doubted it. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get there, I'm gonna get there. Like, this is one of those few sports, like I said, like watching anime like my whole life. It kind of like freaking, I say sometimes like I was born with like a freaking dreams of grandeur, delusions of grandeur or something, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like those shows like hypnotize me into thinking if you work hard enough, you're gonna be able to get it. And with something like this, that's a sport where it's hard sometimes with people that have hoop dreams or people that want to be in the NFL, because those sports aren't just based off your direct hard work. They have to be something that you're born with too. If it's not height, it could be size. If it's not size, it could be speed. But there's some things that eliminate you out of basketball off the break. Like if you're 4'6" or 5'2", you just got basketball's automatically off the table.
Yeah.
You know? If you can't reach a certain size in football, it kind of becomes automatically off the table. But when I saw MMA and the UFC, it's like that. No matter what, there's a room for you. Like there's weight classes. If there is a body type that's best for MMA, we haven't found out yet because the sport is so new. You know,
there ain't one. So everybody's style is different.
Exactly.
Everybody has an advantage.
Yeah.
So I always saw that this is the one thing that you could do if you work hard enough. And I've never had a problem with working hard. I've never had a coach that didn't like me. Like that's always something that came natural to me because I saw my mom grinding my whole life. So it was easy to just take that attribute from her. So around the next world champion time, I still kind of had the same mindset. It's just like, yeah, just give me a few months. I'm gonna be where I'm gonna be. Blah blah blah. So it's just sticking to the grind was the only thing that was different.
Man, I would tell you right now, like during that time, like I was kind of out of jiu-jitsu for whatever reason. I think I was going to school, and then shit happened. I ain't gonna go into that. And then that's when I was like, you know what? This is the time I need to be on the mat. And I got back on the mat, and then I remember when me and you were both blue belts. And you was always had that slight edge in the wrestling. And like I was like, God damn it! Every fucking time you'd always like, it was just barely there. And I was like,
it's called youth.
Yeah, I don't know if it was youth. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was youth or what it is, but yeah, he was definitely younger than me. But I was always mad because I was like, God damn it, I can never keep up with Sodiq.
It's youth, man. You're not going to do that.
Hey, the way I said it before, I did like an interview like I think last month or a month before, and it was like, what do you think your superpower is if you had one? And I was like, I think my power is just the ability to endure. You know, I might not always be the best one there, have the best technique, be the strongest, but I feel like I could stay in this shit longer than most people.
Yeah.
Very good quality to have, sir. Very good quality.
I be grinding. I be out there. I be slow as fuck, but I be like, I'm still here, motherfucker. You see me the last couple of months, like when I've been showing up at the gym whenever I show up, like I'm still out there.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. The grind it's different when you get older. Hey, look. Keep going, bro. Keep going. Like why you
don't stop.
Yeah, please, man. Please do not stop. And you know what doesn't stop?
You got another question, RJ? I got a couple. I got one more.
Shoot it. Shoot the J. Shoot it.
All right. So if you had, you've been in obviously multiple fights within your career. Has there ever been an opponent that I wouldn't say doubted yourself or anything like that, because after talking to you for the last hour and a half, I know you're just like a kick-ass dude with a kick-ass mentality. Has anybody ever intimidated you before you've gotten into the octagon, man?
You want to know something funny?
What's that?
I don't think I've ever had an opponent that didn't intimidate me my whole career.
Look.
That
That's a championship mindset right there.
exactly. That's the thing. That's the thing that people don't get. This is one of the things that I tell people because now I'm in a position where sometimes I'm the leader in the room now because of where I'm at in my career compared to everybody else's. And one of the questions I always propose to people when I see them slacking is I always ask them, "Are you not scared?" It's like
Yeah.
you'll be. I mean, I guess it's not surprising.
You're nicer than me.
People people that don't practice martial arts or people that don't fight, they have they have a need to put on a false sense of bravado where they want to tell you that they're invincible. The reason why growing up George St. Pierre was my favorite fighter was he was the first fighter that I heard say that he was scared. There's nothing against being scared.
That makes
There's
sense.
nothing wrong with being scared. I said this to my mom used to say, like, whenever she talks to my family, she's like, I can't believe out of all her kids, I'm the one that's doing this MMA stuff. Like, I'm the UFC fighter. But the reason why she said that is because I was such a timid kid, you know, like I was always scared of everything. It's easy to make me cry. It's like, and it was easy, like when I used to get in fights as a kid, I used to lose a lot, you know. But I always make the joke. I feel like because, and I don't know why, I always had like an irrational like sense of fear as a kid. You know, it was hard for me to get past being scared. But I feel like because I grew up in that so much, I learned how to survive in that area, in that environment. You know, like I could function while being scared.
You had to push yourself past the point of being scared.
Exactly, and they say like
I feel you.
bravery is not being scared. It's being able to work through it. You know, like being scared and still being able to work in general.
Yeah.
The moment you stop being afraid of your opponents, and don't get me wrong, I don't mean afraid as in like, oh, you're quaking your boots like you can't move, but fear is a sign of respect. And anybody that gets into the UFC and you feel like they don't deserve your respect, you're almost doing them a favor, you know? It's like there's a reason why they're where they're at. And that's always been with me since I was an amateur, you know? So the way I'll prepare for somebody that intimidates me will be a lot different than somebody that I was like, oh, this guy's nothing. So no matter if I thought I was gonna win for sure or not, like I of course I'm gonna be confident in my ability to win, but there's never been an opponent where I was not intimidated by. I hope it makes sense because it's kind of
No, that actually makes perfect sense, man. You probably couldn't have put it into better words. Yeah, honestly. So,
man, I've been wanting like to have like a real MMA fighter on this joint for a minute because when I try to explain things, because I'm not a pro MMA fighter, I think people kind of take my shit as
look at this fucking bum.
Yeah, they don't take it as seriously, and all I wanted was because I have another question. I don't want to go into we already talked about the crowd thing, like so when I have this thing of when cats, even if I'm at a bar watching the fights and when I hear the audience booing fighters, I'm like, you motherfuckers don't understand what goes into the shit that they do day in and day out. And when I try to explain it to people, they never get it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you want to go into that, but
so it's basically, it's also the other reason why you see after the fight is over, you see these guys give each other hugs and stuff like that, because both of you know what it takes to get to the point that you guys have gotten to. Especially when it gets to the point where you guys are in the UFC, because no matter what, you guys was the best in either your area or your region or a certain or another organization. You guys have made it already to the top, you know. And now when it gets like title fights, now you guys have made it to the top of the top, you know. It's like now, no matter what, a certain amount of respect comes from that because you know what this guy has either accomplished in the past or the kind of work that this guy has put in. And that's the same thing that comes with the fear and stuff like that, like the being intimidated or something like that. It's like these words are like buzzwords because it's not manly things to say, you know. It's like as soon as you hear those things, it kind of make you cringe. It's like I'm not scared of nobody. I'm not blah blah. But it's like it's human. It's like for you, like you gotta be some type of sociopath if you're just like I'm absolutely not worried about this guy. It's like
Yeah.
of course it's not gonna be something that's gonna stop you from doing what you have to do, but it is a good motivator for you to work just that a little bit harder, you know. And like I said before, by the time you get into the ring, none of that stuff is going through your mind. You're not really processing that anymore because you've already put the work in. But the first time you get that phone call, oh, okay, you're fighting this guy, you're fighting this guy, you're fighting this guy, that feeling is going to go through your mind like, oh, snap. Like, and then you'll get excited too. It's a whole bunch of emotion, but there's always going to be a little bit of intimidation there. And that's something that I've had since the beginning, since my amateur days. And I went through my whole amateur career without ever taking a loss. And in my pro record now, I'm 11-1. So even though I've only lost once ever, it's like that feeling will always be with me. And I hope it's something that I always keep. Like I said, my favorite fighter is GSP. I remember I forgot who he was fighting, but he got angry at the person that was interviewing him because the person was trying to downplay the fight as if he had an automatic win. And he was like, no, I'm not letting you do that to me. Like he was offended. He said, I'm not going to let you do that to me because the last time you guys did it to me, because it's not something that he brought on himself. He said the last time he let people convince him into thinking he had an automatic win was when Matt Serra knocked him out. And he was like a 12-1 favorite or something like that in that fight, you know? So, and then he just got clipped by the underdog. So it was like, there should always be respect there, you know? And if that respect comes in the form of being a little bit intimidated when you first hear that you're fighting the person, or it comes from you being more motivated to go fight the guy. And I'll tell you this too. I think there are some guys that will try to replace that feeling with anger, with I hate this dude. I'm gonna push him at the weigh-ins. I'm gonna do all this. I'm gonna do blah
I think
blah
that's
blah.
a bad way to fight. Like,
Yeah, for sure. But you can't. I think it's different with everybody. So it might be a bad way for you to fight, but there's some guys that are probably they're the same way I said when I was a kid I used to be scared all the time. I kind of felt at home in that. I learned there's some guys that being angry when they were fighting is where their home is. You know, it's like I've always been the guy that I get angry, I go in there and fight. The way I always tell everybody, to me, it's like if I have to take a math test, being angry is not going to help me pass the test any better. You know. But what I normally do is get mad and go take my math test. That's where I feel at home. It's like, damn, I'm not angry today. I might fail this job. You know? So it's just whatever makes you feel comfortable.
Trust the preparation. Trust the process.
Trust the
yes,
preparation. Piss poor preparation. What Perry used to say?
Piss poor preparation leads to piss poor performance.
Piss poor performance. And we do not do that here. We do not do that here.
And I had one. RJ, you got anything else? Greg, you got anything else?
No, not off the top of my head, man.
That was a good question, RJ. I said no. You'll funny that no one's ever asked me that before, but it's a question that I've been waiting to answer to people for a while.
Yeah, I'm a pretty regular dude, man. So I'm a fan of a lot of things. I'm a big wrestling fan. You know, I'm a big boxing fan. So to have the time, and I know Jared's your buddy, but to speak to somebody who's on that level as a fan of anything, I think it's pretty badass that I get to sit down and actually talk to you about something like this. Because I'm just we're
get the real answers and get the real answers.
Yeah. So
the real answers.
I'm a regular guy, man. I go to work every day. I drink my beer. I talk my shit with my boys. And to have this opportunity to do so, like, I feel as important as the show is to Jared and Greg, it is to me as well. And it's something that, we're passionate about. But the overall aspect is that we want to, again, provide things for people to open up their mind a little bit more. And dude, you're a person, and I think, again, what you do is badass. But I think also asking you those questions, it kind of might put some people's mind at ease on when it comes to certain things. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Because when I first heard George St. Pierre is my favorite fighter say that, like, it meant a lot to me to hear him say that. So that's why I always make sure I repeat that. I've been waiting for someone to ask me that so I can repeat the same thing that he said too, because it's honest. Like, we're not all, I'm not gonna say I think it's fake or anything like that. I just think people are wired different because some people might really just not care. You know, it's like they might really,
Look,
that might just be their mentality.
Here's what I'm kind of learning right now, Sadiq, and like everybody for real. Like, I can, like Greg has told me before, like I can be intense, and I think it comes from being around Master Lloyd, like just being in that world, you know what I'm saying, but not being at the top of my game. Like I'm just in the game. I could probably be like a great coach or a fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But I'll never be a great fighter. But I have to figure out in my own head how to tone myself down to be able to not cater, but make people feel comfortable around me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, no, I think you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's hard to explain.
I definitely know what you're saying because I think that's a common thing with a lot of people in the martial arts world, and then especially because you're from our gym. So, and our gym, although we have regular students, the people that you're training with aren't the regular students. Exactly. So you're gonna start picking up on the same mindset as like the people that are like being at the highest level in the sport, you know. Mm-hmm. So the way I always deal with that, I go out of my way to make it the exact opposite. Like in my like hanging out with my regular friends like that, I'm the pacifist guy. I'm the first one to drop a joke if things are gonna start if the tension's gonna be there.
That's how I got into stand up. That's how I got into stand up.
Yeah, so you got you got to take it the exact opposite way. Like that's why people are, whenever they meet me for the first, like, oh man, I didn't expect you to act like this at all. Like, oh, you expect to have the angry, the
yeah.
Anybody that could live like that, they're like the whole day. That got to be exhausting, man. Like I'd rather be the
bro.
guy that you make fun of than the guy that's trying to beat everybody up anytime.
Look, thank you for saying that because it made me feel a lot better about where I'm going in my life right now. I'm still training, like if I can train, but I'm going hard on this comedy shit.
Nice.
Well, that's awesome. So Greg, are we good to go?
I don't know. Greg, got anything?
No, man, good, man.
Yo, we've been talking for an hour.
I know. I got one more. I got one more question.
I had to go grab the bean. You know what I'm saying? She's up here half dead in the cut.
I got one more question.
Jerry's had one more question for 30 minutes.
Bullshit. One question.
No. I said two. No, I said this was. I said I had 2 or 3 more
it's
questions.
All good, man.
This is my last question. Do you have a message for your fans during this time that we're going through the coronavirus epidemic and all this shit?
Yeah. The one thing I would say is for everybody, before I was saying my power is the ability to endure, I would need everybody to take a little bit of my energy, you know, like the Dragon Ball Z Spirit Bomb.
Spirit Bomb.
Spirit Bomb, yeah, there you go.
Take a little bit of my energy, you know. So this is one of the few times where everybody gets on the same page. And it sucks that they say times of struggle and times of stress is what kind of brings everybody on the even playing field. That's why people that go through a certain trauma together, they can all identify with each other. But something like this is kind of putting everybody on the same playing field. People are learning real quick that the amount of money you got in your bank account isn't gonna necessarily help you when shit hits the wall, you know. So a lot of people are losing their job. A lot of people aren't able to pay their bills. But we all gotta listen to the guidelines that people are telling us, man. Cut it out with the conspiracy, listen to what the CDC is saying, and if everybody follows through, hopefully we could kind of bring this thing down, then we could get back to our regular lives. But that's all I could say is everybody endure. And count your blessings too, you know, because there's always somebody out there that got a lot worse than you do. The people that are able to work right now, that's a great thing that you guys are still able to make money. For those of us that are struggling and waiting on stimulus checks and stuff like that to make it work, still count your blessings that you got your loved ones around you. If you haven't lost somebody close to you yet, count your blessings on stuff like that, you know. So you gotta look for the brighter sides in this dark times.
Facts.
All right.
Facts.
And that's facts on facts. And do you know what else is facts?
And do some push-ups. Do some damn push-ups or something.
I've been slacking on my push-ups. I've been walking, but I ain't been doing no push-ups.
Get your heart rate up or something, man.
Yeah, I got to do some push-ups. I don't want to
show off my manliness.
I'm getting small. Hey, Sadiq, I'm getting small.
Nice.
I don't want this. I don't want to come back from this quarantine seeing people with extra chins.
Oh no! Oh, it's people that's got extra chins that's out here walking.
People
So
getting thick, man. People getting thick out here.
I think
All right,
everything's
you gotta
everything's
behave,
switching.
man. That's why I
switching.
trimmed the beard down a little bit.
Oh, I noticed it. You look way better.
Yeah,
Hey,
I do. I look
close-
like a civilized human being. That's
All
what I
right,
look
bro.
like.
Close it out. Close it out.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to episode 41 of the Mad Scientist Live podcast. As always, it is I, RJ the Pizza Guy, along with Jared, the visual mad scientist.
I'm up
Greg.
there.
Well, on my phone, you're over here.
Just
So-
say who the names are.
All right.
Right there.
Greg, the essential Ara. All right.
No, you're gonna get that right one day.
I
It's,
know you're getting
it's not.
so
It's
mad.
not even.
Onlyfans.com/go ahead. Yeah.
OnlyFans.com, where he shows you videos of assorted meats.
Of assorted meats.
All right.
Sausage.
All right. And a very big thank you to Super Sodiq Yusuff. So, hey, man, thank you so much for being on the show with us. We wish you the best, man. Honestly, if there's anything we can do for you, like if you need a pizza or some shit, I got you. All right.
Yeah,
All right,
thank
but,
you guys
in
for
all
having me.
seriousness,
Man. I
thank you.
appreciate the support.
No
Yeah,
doubt.
yeah, of course, man. And good luck in your next fight, man. And we're going to be there to support you. So thank you so much.
You know
All
I'm
right.
gonna be there.
All right.
Hey, for real, thank you, Sadiq, for doing this.
No
Yeah, it's
worries.
awesome, dude. Thank you.
Yeah, this is probably one of the best ones. I'm just gonna stop recording, and then we can, like, if we want to chat, we can chat. If not, we can not.
No way. We've been talking for 2 hours.
I'm gonna hit you so hard you won't see nothing. Ever, 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 ever.
Audio skulls all day.
The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab.
You can't have an opinion on something that you haven't even tried.
Exactly.
The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab.